Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brandon Logan. Have you ever read the book called The Lovely Bones? Well, if you haven't, it is the story of a girl who was attacked and killed by one of her neighbors, who then decides to dismember and hide her body. Everybody thinks that he might be the killer, but do you want to know what finally identifies him? When they uncover her bones and use DNA evidence to prove that the bones belong to the girl, and they identify the container as coming from the house of her neighbor. Who would have done all this research to help form this conclusion? A forensic scientist. Many of you have probably seen CSI or any other crime shows or movies, and then you have probably seen a forensic scientist at work, helping to gather details at or by the crime scene, as you can see here. I'm knowledgeable about my topic because I've done extensive research on it, and I've been interested in this field for the last few years. One day, I wish to become a forensic scientist because I feel that I'm a very investigative and curious person, and I also feel better about my life knowing that I'm helping to put criminals behind bars and help bring closures to grieving families. So today, I will explain what it means to be a forensic scientist, the schooling and education required to become one, and the many ways they help benefit society. First, a forensic scientist is a lead investigator who seeks for, gathers, and analyzes evidence at a crime scene or any alleged crime scene. Forensic scientists may do this in a number of ways, such as collecting physical evidence in baggies that they can take back to the labs, or by collecting samples of any unknown substance. For example, strands of hair at a crime scene may be gathered and analyzed in a lab to help determine the description of somebody who was at the crime scene. For example, in a lab, a forensic scientist can deduce the hair color, composition, what part of the body it came from, and sometimes even the owner of the hair. Another way forensic scientists analyze evidence is by collecting any blood samples found at the crime scene. By analyzing these samples, they can form conclusions of what injury caused that amount of blood to be spilled, whose blood it belonged to, and any other factors that may help in solving this crime. Now that he or she finally has all the evidence, there are certain types of analyses that can happen right at the crime scene, and others that must be done at the lab. While most hair or blood analyses must be done at the lab with the proper tools and instruments, many forms of physical evidence, such as broken glass or containers or wood, as you can see here, can actually be done at the crime scene with the help of a forensic scientist or really any other smart detective located at the scene. Although analysis of any unknown substance found at the crime scene must be done at a lab in order to find out the function, the purpose, and where the substance may have came from. Forensic scientists have many different tools they use when doing these things. Some of these tools collect physical evidence that could be useful and see what happened to it, such as the baggies previously mentioned, or other things such as measuring tape, trajectory tools, and other devices that will help gather information about exactly what happened in a crime. They can do this by conducting experiments on substances or materials they find in their lab to find out exactly what may have happened or what they may have been used for. And in case anybody may be interested in how someone becomes a forensic scientist, there are three main things you need. First, in order to become a forensic scientist, you may need a degree in any field of science, such as chemistry, biology, physical science, or any related field. Second, you need the experience. This can come from internships, on-job experience, or just practically doing a bunch of research on your own. And the third and final thing you will need is a desire to help have a positive impact and benefit your community in a way that only forensic science can. As previously mentioned, you will need a bachelor's degree in forensic science, chemistry, or another related science field. A most of these degrees can be found at any major college or university. Another thing you may want to consider is obtaining your RI credential, which is something that will help verify your credibility as a forensic scientist and may also help you land jobs in new areas or help verify what you are saying to be fact. And as of May 2015, forensic scientists on average made around $56,320 a year according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. There are also around 14,400 people currently operating as forensic scientists in America, and jobs in this field have a job outlook of 27%, which at the time was higher than average, meaning that jobs in this field may be easier to come by than other fields. Overall, forensic science is an interesting field that affects society in a multitude of ways. Being a forensic scientist is a very interesting job that will have a positive effect on any community they are involved in. Although it may seem difficult to become one, in the end it is worth it because you'll have a positive impact on the people you meet and will be doing the right thing by helping to solve crimes. Thank you.